The most popular statistic on YouTube is obviously views. That's what it all comes down to, views. Everyone just wants views. Views. Why is it so hard to get views sometimes though? We're here to help you. Everybody talks about how many views videos gets and how you can get more views and blah blah, views. That's all people talk about. But if you want to succeed on YouTube, you shouldn't primarily focus on how many views your video gets. A more successful YouTube channel focuses on another metric, which is watch time. Watch time refers to the total time spent watching your video. The algorithm that determines how many views your video gets bases it off your watch time. Essentially, YouTube prefers to keep viewers engaged heavily watching it consistently rather than just for seconds or minutes. They want to keep people on the platform for hours if they can. Why is watch time so important then? Watch time is now a qualifier for YouTube benefits in the YouTube Partner Program. You've got to have over 4,000 hours of watch time in order to qualify to actually make money on your channel via ads. You know, you want to set multiple ads on your videos over 8 minutes long. To be monetized on your channel, you do need the 4,000 hours of watch time, but you also need 1,000 subscribers. This might seem like a daunting task at first. I mean, it's 240,000 minutes, or almost 250,000 minutes. However, acquiring these numbers may not be actually as difficult as you think. In fact, I made 2 videos which you can actually watch about how you can do this. So we'll link that below so you can watch that later. But since you're here now, I want to give you some value, so let's break it down. If on average, each of your videos are 10 minutes long and a viewer watches for 6 minutes, that's a 60% viewer retention rate. And that equals to 6 minutes of watch time per view on the video. In order to reach 4,000 hours of watch time per year, you need to hit 40,000 views a year, which isn't that much, is it really? Because that equals to be about 110 views per day. 110, I think you can do that. But unfortunately, our viewers don't always watch your videos for the same amount of time that they might watch our videos, for example. So that's where this becomes really important, because you want to keep people watching your videos as long as possible. Some of our videos can have low watch times and others can have really super high ones. It just depends. There are 2 different main metrics to measure watch time: the percentages of how long people viewed on average and totals of how long people watched. Before we dive in, let's establish what watch time as a percentage means. YouTube tracks how much of your videos people watch. If someone watches 3 minutes of a 6-minute video, then that's a 50% retention rate. The higher the percentage, the better. Watch time is also tracked based off the total time viewers have spent watching your videos. This is added to give you the total number of time people have ever watched your content in the past year. In fact, it's super important that you keep people watching on the YouTube platform, let alone watching that video all the way through. You want people to click on another video after watching your video, and hopefully it's your video after that, because that also sends another good signal to YouTube if you do that. Basically, you want to keep them engaged on YouTube for as long as possible and make them watch more videos after that. How can I increase my watch time percentage? You want to monitor your YouTube analytics, because that is where the metric will actually be shown. In your YouTube analytics, watch time is measured by a graph that demonstrates how much of a video people have watched through on average. You can see where more people watch your video and where they've dropped off and where they've come back to, and you can write down all of these points in a document. Then when you're writing your videos and scripts and all of that jazz, you'll know exactly what to include and what not to include in other future videos, and this is where you should be basing it off the data instead of your emotions or your assumptions. But you're probably asking, Ben, what do I do for my first videos when I haven't even got any views yet? Great question, and my answer is to model what's worked in your niche and make it your own in your own way. But I want to give you more value here, so let me go over 4 secret tips of why your audience retention may have gone down. 1. Too much silence in your videos with no action. You basically want to make the video as fast-paced as possible with fast cuts, all of that stuff. It depends what type of video it is, obviously, but my recommendation is to make sure there's no gaps in the video where nothing happens. Basically, you want to keep the viewer engaged for as long as possible, because they could likely be bored at certain points, so you've got to really sit down, watch your videos and think, am I bored at this point? If I'm bored at that point, let's change something up, let's add something in here, or change something here, remove this, maybe make it even shorter if it's going to affect the audience retention, because you don't want it to affect it that way. 2. Information that isn't related to the video. Now, I myself have done this in videos before where I just go on so many side tangents and I talk about stuff that probably isn't relatable at that certain point in the video, and you want to make sure you get it right place, right time in the video, because I could be talking about something completely unrelated, like I'm going to have an orange after making this video, but that isn't relatable. You don't care if I'm having an orange after this video. If you do, then leave a comment, but I don't think you actually do care. But yeah, anyway, I think you shouldn't go on too many side tangents. Basically, just get straight to the point, be concise with it, and then people will love you for that. And also, more importantly, not just the fans and people, YouTube will love you for that. They'll promote your videos even more. You'll get into the algorithm. 3. Misleading titles and thumbnails that don't actually describe the video. Your title and thumbnail should reflect what content is in the video, so if the viewer doesn't get that straight away when watching your video, they're just gonna click off and they'll probably give you a dislike. They'll probably just not look at your channel again and that sends a really bad signal to YouTube. So you want people, especially new viewers, that are seeing your videos in the algorithm to actually watch your content and want to watch it. That's basically the key signal to YouTube. So basically what I'm trying to say here, it's not worth it to make your videos too clickbaity, because it's just not worth it in the long run. A little bit is okay, but don't go too overboard in the thumbnail and say you're going to show something that you actually don't in the video, or do something you're not actually going to do. You know, you want to actually produce content that people will see. 4, boring introductions. Now, this one is a key one, to be honest. If you want to keep your audience watching, then it's important to make the first, especially first 15 to 20 seconds really engaging and fast-paced and everything, to make sure that people aren't bored. Because otherwise, basically, they'll just move on to a better video than what you've produced. You basically want to capture their attention in the first 20 seconds. Now that we know what not to do, let's talk about how we can actually increase our watch time. Intros. It's important in our introductions of videos to get straight to the point, give them what they want, and maybe show a hook of what's to happen in the other parts of the video to make them watch more. But you could say something like, stay tuned for what happens in the rest of the video, that sort of thing. At the start of the video, say something like that. And that can help you grow massively. You know, some YouTubers out there make crazy introductions and just do stuff in the intros of their videos that don't actually make any sense, that people won't even know who you are, and they just don't care, basically. They want to get what they came for. Especially a new viewer coming to your channel, they just want to see what they came for. So another point is, do not add logos at the start of your video. That just is going to ruin your retention completely, so just don't add them, basically. The 2 best ways to start your video is as follows. 1, running your video without an introduction, basically. 2, using a hook intro, like I said before. You can look at some of the biggest channels out there and you can see that they've actually been implementing some of the things I've talked about today. Outros. In terms of outros, you want to keep your outros as short as possible, just get straight on with it, out of the way, and get people to watch another video that you have on your channel. You want to say that at the end, otherwise it could damage your retention, to be honest, because people might go and watch another video on YouTube, which it doesn't damage you really as much, but you want people to carry on watching content on your channel to get you more multiple views from one single viewer. Also, another terrible thing that people do is they ask people to subscribe before they give them value. So you want to ask people to subscribe after you've given the value. So that's usually near the end of the video or somewhere in the middle, and that just works best. Here are 6 ways that you can increase your watch hours in turn getting you millions of views, potentially. Remember, the secret to getting views is watch time. 1, creating a series, because if you have a series on your channel, people will go through and watch all of them, because people are hooked into it and want to watch more of what happens in that sort of series. So make sure it's obviously a good series firstly, and also that, you know, people are hooked and you're leading people on to the next part of the series. That's super important because it can push all of those videos into the algorithm. Maybe one more will pop off, maybe the 4th part of the series will pop off. That in turn will get people watching it from the first part, and then so on and so forth. 2, using playlists effectively. You want to add videos to playlists because people can find them and watch them in order and do that sort of thing. You can put them on your main channel page as well. By people watching on playlists, they're more likely to stay and effectively watch more of your content. Because when you watch a video on a playlist, their videos automatically play. 3, hint about your next video in your current videos. So this is what we do sometimes here on Tube Mastery YouTube channel. We actually tell people what we're going to be making videos about in the next parts, and then people are just listening to that and watching that and thinking, wow, I want to watch that after that. So that in turn makes them want to carry on watching. But remember, you only want to do this once you've given value. 4, make longer videos. If someone watches 10% of a 1-hour video, that's way more than if someone watches 10% of a 10-minute video, for example. Every video doesn't have to be super, super long. That isn't the point we're making here, but you know, you want to make some longer ones out there. But in general, you want to use the rule of thumb that basically you want to give value, and once you've given the value, then that's how long the video should be, really and truly. You know, that could be 5 minutes, could be 10 minutes, could be even 2 minutes. It just depends. There are viral videos at every length, but basically you want to be writing your scripts and providing more value as possible to make them longer. 5, use cards. Basically, at low retention rates in your video, you want to be putting cards in there which pop up at the top of your video and tell you to click on something else. This will encourage people to continue watching and increasing the watch time. 6, doing live streams. Think about how many people you can get to watch a live stream. You can get a dozen or 100 people on it, or however many people. Each second on your live stream, you're increasing your watch time, and you can pick up a lot of new subscribers by doing this. The subscribers, of course, though, come from you having a lot of watch time, so keep that in mind as well, obviously, because watch time is the key here, remember? Now check out this video over here to find out how to get 1,000 subscribers as fast as possible. This video reveals secrets that are working right now. So get watching and I'll see you there. It reveals the best secrets right now. I know you're going to get a ton of value from it, so I'll see you there.